Hello, hello. Welcome back to part 2 of the Lex Chatbot Series. I'm Maya from Nextwork, and I am so excited to go through our project with you. As you can see on my screen, it is the Lex Chatbot Part 2 of the 5-part series, and you can find the link in the description, so feel free to follow along with me today. So excited that y'all are here today. Please drop in, say hi, send a wave, let me know that you're watching, and ask any questions that you might have. I'm happy to go through all the details of the project. Are you excited? I am too. Okay, let's go. So today we're doing the part 2 of the Lex series. It's a 5-part project, and we'll be creating a practical chatbot, which we will name BankerBot, that helps as an imaginary, that acts as a banker for our imaginary bank, to deal with customers and checking their account balance and transferring money and all that stuff. So in part 1, if you completed it, or if you were with me in the previous video, we set up a basic intent, like a welcome intent to welcome our customers, created a list of utterances, handled failures in case we didn't understand what the customer was saying, and we tested it all out. So that was part 1 on the BankerBot. If you didn't complete it, that's okay. We will do that really quickly in this video today. In this part 2, we are going to learn how to set up an intent that helps users check their account balance. This is kind of what it looks like, a little preview of what it's going to look like by the end of the project. Okay. So in this project, what we'll actually be doing in the whole 5-part Lex series is check a user's bank balance. So for that, we need to get the user's details, find the account balance of the user using the details that they provide, and then return the account balance. Today, in this part, in part 2, we're focusing on the first bit, which is to get the user's details and the birthday and account type. All right, just so you know, the entire series is available. I highly recommend that you check it out if you haven't already, and do part 1 before doing this, because we'll go right into it very quickly to repeat the steps we did in part 1. So we've got multiple ways of doing the project in this guide. We'll go step by step and break it down very easy, but if you are in for a challenge, you are more than welcome to go for some less guidance. Always remember that when you start a project on AWS, just make sure that you delete all the resources. AWS does tend to charge if you run the services keep them running for too long, so make sure that you delete them. And it's a good practice to just delete everything at the end of the day. So if you're doing this, if the Lex series, and you're breaking it down one day at a time, just make sure you delete it all and restart again. If you're doing all 5 in one go, amazing. You don't have to delete it, but just make sure you delete it by the end of the day. I cannot stress this enough. All right, so let's start with a quick question. What are we here to do today? All right, in this project, I will demonstrate how to use Amazon Lex to create a chatbot that collects user details. I'm doing this project to learn how slots work in AWS Lex. Okay, amazing. Let's really quickly start with a quiz right at the beginning. It's a pre-project, everything quiz, so no worries, no drama if I get any of them wrong. We're all learning here, but it might also be a bit of a refresher on part one. So you ready? Okay. I need your help answering these questions, okay? So let's see. When is the fallback intent triggered? We did that in part one, so we should be able to answer this question. When is the fallback intent triggered? A, when the chatbot's confidence score is below the threshold in all intents. B, when the chatbot successfully fills all required slots for an intent. When a user, C, when a user says hello or a similar greeting. Or D, when a user asks a question about a specific topic. All right. Easy enough, I think. Any answers, any guesses? Please enter those answers in the chat box, and we can talk through the different answers. Fallback intent is something that we covered in part one. Option A says when the chatbot's confidence score is below threshold for all intents. So just a quick recap of what that means is when the confidence score is basically the chatbot's confidence, how sure it is of what it understands based on the user input. And we set a threshold limit in the last project as well as this part. We set it as 40%, so 0.4. And so if the chatbot understands, is about 40% sure of the answer, it'll go and say, okay, I understand. If it's below 40%, it'll say, I don't understand what you're talking about. And that's when the fallback intent is triggered. So the answer is A. If you're ready, I'm gonna check it. All right, it is correct. The fallback intent is triggered when the chatbot's confidence score is below the set threshold, indicating that it doesn't understand the user's input. All right, you ready for the next question? What are intents in Amazon Lex? Okay, A, what the user is trying to achieve in the conversation with the chatbot. B, the phrases a user inputs to trigger a specific action. D, specific details like restaurant name, date, time, number of people. Or D, a custom error message when the chatbot doesn't understand the user. Again, we covered this in part one. What are intents in Amazon Lex? Intents are basically what the user is trying to achieve in their conversation with the chatbot. So kind of think of it as intention. Intents represent what the user wants to do, such as checking a balance. This aligns with the definition provided in the documentation too. So, okay, next question. You ready? Why include text account type in some of the sample utterances for the check balance intent? A little spicy question here, so not as easy as the first two. Why include the text account type in some of the sample utterances for the check balance intent? Okay, let's try doing it by elimination. A, it helps Amazon Lex understand which intent the user is trying to trigger. B, it defines the prompt that Amazon Lex will use to ask the user for their account type. C, it increases the confidence score threshold for the check balance intent. Or D, it tells Amazon Lex to look for slot values from the user's input. Okay. Which one do you guys think it is? Is it A, B, C, or D? This is a question that's relevant for this part, so you wouldn't have covered it in part 2. Why include the text account type in some of the sample utterances for the check balance intent? So this allows basically to understand what the options might be. So I'm thinking it's either B or D, right? What do you want to go with? Defines the prompt that Amazon Lex will use to ask the user for what their account type is. Or D, it tells Amazon Lex to look for slot values from the user's input. Okay, let's go with B and see what the answer is. Okay, it's incorrect. B is incorrect because while prompts are related to slots, the account type in the utterance is about identifying the slot value directly from the user input, not defining the prompt. So then what was the correct answer? D. D is correct because including account type in the utterances prepares Lex to identify the extract slot values from the user's input, streamlining the conversation. Dragon, you are so correct. Should have listened to you. All right, ready for the next question? Okay. What does the restrict to slot value setting do when creating a custom slot type? I'll read the question again. What does the restrict to slot values setting do when creating a custom slot type? A, it ensures that only the values you specify are considered valid for the slot. B, it sets the minimum confidence level for intent recognition. C, it determines how long the session lasts before timing out. I don't think it's C. D, configures the voice used by the chatbot for responses. So this question again is related to part 2, so it's okay if you don't get it. But just based on the answers, I think we're going to go with A. What do you think? Dragon, help me out here. Let's go with A and see if that's right. It is. Restricting to slot values ensures only specified values are accepted, preventing the bot from using machine learning to guess other values. Make sense? And we'll find out more about this in this part. What are slots in Amazon Lex? So this is the important question. This is what we're going to find out and learn. A, the actions the user wants the chatbot to perform. B, pieces of information that a chatbot needs to complete a user's request. C, the chatbot's replies to the user's input. Or D, the phrases users say to trigger specific actions. So A, the actions the user wants the chatbot to perform. B, pieces of information that a chatbot needs to complete a user's request. C, the chatbot's replies to the user's input. Or D, the phrases users say to trigger specific actions. I think we're going to go with B. What do you think? Let's check. Yep. Slots are pieces of information that the chatbot needs to fulfill the user's request. So basically, when we ask as BankerBot for the user to enter details to verify, are you checking the account that actually belongs to you? That is when the slots come into handy, because we're asking for specific information that the chatbot needs to verify or complete a user's request. Make sense? All right, and with that, we've completed the quiz. Almost made it, 4 out of 5. All great. And yeah, it gave us a nice opportunity to recap some of the concepts we covered in part 1. And now we're getting all ready to start and set up a new chatbot. Ready? Okay, so in this step, we are going to create a new bot from scratch on Amazon Lex. In this step, I will create a new chatbot from scratch using Amazon Lex because I want to I want to build a bot that welcomes users and that's what we did in part 1. We created a bot that welcomes users and handles errors when the bot doesn't understand. So that's what we're going to do in step 1. It's just a quick recap of what we did in part 1. Okay. Exciting. So we'll need to repeat the steps from the last project to set up the BankerBot's basic functionalities. If you've completed part 1 but deleted all the resources, I highly recommend that you do this little challenge of recreating the bot. So make sure that you have a chatbot you called BankerBot, have set up the welcome intent so that the BankerBot greets the customers, and customize the fallback intent so that the BankerBot has a nice personalized error message when it doesn't understand the user's input. If you've already created all the BankerBot just today itself and you haven't deleted it, let's just jump right into step 2. You'll have to wait for me because I have to recreate BankerBot in this video today. And so if you haven't done it, you are more than welcome to do it along with me. We will create a new chatbot, name it BankerBot, set up the welcome intent, set up the fallback intent, and yep, so let's get started. Log into your AWS account. Make sure you have set it up. If you want to pause and set that up right now, that's totally fine. I already have my AWS console ready. I'm just going to minimize this screen so that you can see more of my AWS console. So log into your AWS account, navigate to Amazon Lex. And so that is type Lex in your console's search bar. If you recently visited it, you might see it right here. I'm just going to show how easy it is to just click on these little text and it allows you to copy. And so all you have to do is just paste it. So again, if you want to follow the tutorial, the project guide is in the YouTube description below. Okay, so once we get in here, oh, I forgot to delete this. Look at that. This is what you should not do. I'm going to delete it really quickly. It's deleting it and it's deleted. Okay, so you did not see that, okay? We're in the Lex console. And make sure that you see Lex V2. This is the second version. If you are seeing V1, it's probably something that you can just change right here. You can toggle back and forth from the version 1 and version 2. We are creating the banker bot on version 2. Okay, so when we're here, select create bot. Okay, so we select the button here, create a bot, and we want to create a blank bot. For the bot name, enter banker bot. Enter it here. And I just realized that the documentation is probably not so clear because my face is videos. Minimizing that. Is that better? Okay. So yeah, for the bot name, we'll enter banker bot, and for the description, we enter banker bot to help customer check their balance and make transfers. And here I'm going to just paste it. Thanks to Nextwork projects. Amazing. So next step is under IAM permissions, create a role with basic Amazon Lex permissions. So that's this one. And we do that because we need to be able to call other services on AWS. It's the Lambda service. We don't have to worry about it in this project, but it's good practice to just do the same things that we want to do for the big final version of the chatbot. Under Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, we select no. And under the idle session timeout, we keep it with 5 minutes, which is the default. Everything looks good? Okay, let's go. So we select next. And here, we want to keep the language as English. And we are going to select any voice of your choice, really, but I'm going to go with Danielle. And you can
Hello,
always
my name
listen
is Danielle.
to the
Let me
voice
know
and
how I can
decide.
assist you.
Nextwork community has a favorite, which is Gregory and Ruth. Who's your favorite? I wonder. Okay, so everything looks good? Yes? Okay, so we go ahead and select done. Make sure the intent classification confidence score is 0.4. As I mentioned in the quiz, what that means is how sure Lex is, our chatbot is going to have to be to give an answer that we want it to answer. If it's not sure and it's below 40%, it will throw an error message. So you can always customize this number. If you want it to be like 100% sure before it answers, then you'd want to put 1. So feel free to play around with that. Okay, we have a bot now. Now that we have a bot, we are going to create an intent. What is an intent? An intent is what the user is trying to achieve in a conversation with the chatbot. So for example, do you want to check a bank account balance or book a flight? Those are things that we can define and set up. So here in this intent, we want to create a welcome intent. Okay, that's what we're going to call it. Enter welcome intent. Under the description, welcoming a user when they say hello. So we want our banker bot to be friendly and say hello, thank you for being here, or whatever you wanted to say. Scroll down to the sample utterances panel, okay? And click the plain text button. This is the plain text button. Copy the text below, which represents the user inputs, also called utterances, and that will trigger this welcome intent. So let's paste this into the text window. And what that does is now you have different intents, different utterances, sample utterances. So if someone says hi or hello or I need help or can you help me, then it will call the welcome intent that we're setting up. So now we scroll down to the closing response. Right here. And expand the response sent to the user. And in here, we want to say, hi, I'm BB, the banking bot. How can I help you today? Oops, I didn't copy the right one. This is the message that we want to copy. Excellent. So that means when someone enters any of these, hi, hello, I need help, can you help me, or anything of that sort within 40% of confidence, we will see the message, hi, I'm BB, the banking bot. How can I help you today? All right, so everything looks good. We select Save Intent, and we are going to hit Build. Ready? So building will take a little time, sometimes 30 seconds. I think shouldn't take too long. And once the build is done, we can go ahead and test and see how that works out. If you've done part one, all this should be so familiar to you and you would be like, Maya, can we just keep going? But I always like to test all the little steps, make sure everything is working properly, right? Good practice. Okay, so let's test it out. Okay, let's say hello. And it says, hi, I'm BB, the banking bot. What if I say hiya? Okay, so that's within 40%. What if I say good morning? See, it doesn't understand. It's too different from all the utterances that we entered. What if we say help me? Okay, it kind of answers the can you help me utterance. So all good. So now what we need to do is create a fallback intent that allows the banker bot to kind of manage errors when it doesn't understand. Because we want a really, really friendly bot, right? So in the left-hand navigation panel, here, choose fallback intent. And this is the window that we see. Amazing. As we talked about, fallback intent is basically what the chatbot is going to do when it doesn't understand. So whatever the confidence score threshold you set, based on that, it'll decide whether it should throw an error or do the welcome intent. So here, the default fallback intent is intent fallback intent is fulfilled, which is, I don't know, as a user, that doesn't make any sense, right? So let's rephrase that message so it's clear and the user and the chatbot is able to clearly communicate to our user that didn't understand. Let's scroll down to closing responses. And here, it's let's expand this. It's already expanded in my end. And we enter the message, sorry, I'm having trouble understanding. Can you describe what you'd like to do in a few words? I can help you find your account balance, transfer funds, and make a payment. Okay, so let's do that. Copy, paste. Very nice. And then everything looks like it matches in the screenshot. Amazing. You'll notice another arrow next to the label variations. Remember what that's for? I'm going to close this window. The variations allow you to give a little variations, or little, spice it up a little instead of saying the same thing again and again. Could you try rephrasing that? I can help you find your account balance, transfer funds, and make a payment. What's another variation that you want to add? I can say, oops, I didn't get that. Oops, I didn't get that. Let's try again. I can help you find your account balance, transfer funds, and make a payment. Looks good? Okay, so let's save this intent and we will build it. And building will take a little time. And as soon as the building is done, we will test it. If you're on watching live, say hi and let me know where you're joining from. It's nice to know that there's folks watching live with me here today. And we can chat a little while we're waiting for BankerBot to be built. And now here is BankerBot ready to test. Let's test. Okay, what do you see now? Let's put the same things that we did, which is hi. Okay, what happens when we say good morning? I didn't get that. Let's try again. How are you? See? Let's see if we can get another variation. I'm Maya. Could you try rephrasing that? I can help you find your account balance, transfer funds, and make payment. All right, so you see how that fallback intent was customized, and we had variations for it, and everything looks good. So we are all caught up as if we have already done part 1. So ready for step 2? I'm excited. Okay, this is the new stuff. Okay, so in this step, we're creating a custom slot for account types. Basically, we're going to upgrade our BankerBot's functionality, and we're going to actually get it to check a user's bank balance, right? And so for that, the first thing we need to do is make sure that we have the details that we need to check that bank balance. So we're going to get BankerBot to ask the users for their bank account type and birthday for verification. And for that, we're going to use a feature in Lex called slots to tell BankerBot what bank account types it should recognize. And based on that, it will decide if everything is good to go and has the information that the bot needs. So in this step, we're going to create the slot to store a user's bank account type and save different bank account types that Lex should know. Okay, so let's really quickly answer the question. What are we doing in this step? In this step, I will create a custom slot type for account types because we need to collect this information from users to respond to their banking request, right? Butterfingers. Okay, amazing. In the Amazon Lex console, choose slot types in your left-hand navigation panel. So let's go back to the Amazon Lex console, and we select slot types in the left-hand navigation panel. Great, look at that, beautiful. All right, so what are slots? Slots are pieces of information that a chatbot needs to complete a user's request, kind of like blanks that needs to be filled out in a form. And Amazon Lex provides easy to use slot types as well, like dates and times. So if you want to create, like, you need the user's birthday, you want the date, and so Lex has some ready to go slot types. But for certain types, like the account type, it needs, maybe there are certain account types that we accept and we don't, and so we can always customize that. And that's what we're doing in this step. So let's choose add slot type right here from the drop down and add blank slot type. Enter account type for the slot type name and choose add. Yay! This will bring up the large slot types editor panel. Amazing. Looking good. All right, so what are slots? Anybody want to help me out here? Slots are inputs collected during a conversation with the chatbot. Lex uses these responses to kind of store it, and verify. But I think that's a lot of information. I think this is good. Feel free to add as much as you want. Just so you know, as you answer these questions, they've come into this nice documentation that you can have and share at the end of your project completion. And it's a nice, nifty little way of just recording everything that you did, everything that you understood. So be as detailed or as less detailed as you want. It's completely yours to own. So why did you set up a custom slot type? In this project, I created a custom slot type to make sure Lex accepts the account types that my imaginary bank recognizes or supports. Like, we can set it as checking, savings, credit, and so forth. So in the slot value resolution panel, choose restrict to slot values. So in the slot value recognition panel, right here, choose restrict to slot values. Amazing. Okay. What does this selection mean? This selection basically is restricting the values that the user inputs to specific criteria. So, for example, we don't want Lex to accept anything, any valid responses. We're going to only offer checking savings and credits. And so we want it to be specifically one of those three. So it kind of restricts the user from putting more than what our banking can offer, if that makes sense. Yeah, so as this little blurb points out, if Lex starts accepting other values outside of these three, then the users could end up having conversations about bank account types that we don't even support. So to prevent that from happening, we kind of restrict it using these this option here. So let's specify what those three options are. So in this project, what we're going to restrict it to is checking, savings, and credit. So in the values over here, we enter checking. So again, the nice thing about this project is you can copy and you can just paste it. And I'm going to say add value. And then savings, copy it, add value. And then if the user wants to use credit, maybe we only support certain credits, like if it says credit card, or if you enter a semicolon, it automatically, it's like a new value. So we can add multiple things. If the user basically says any of these options, then it will pull up the credit, Amex, and American Express, and feel free to add more if you want. And here we're going to finish the credit, and amazing. So we've created the slot values to set up a new intent that allows users to check their bank account balance. And so the banker bot is going to have to know what bank account type the user wants to check. And so having these slot values basically ensures that our banker bot is only looking for the answers checking, savings, and credit. And so it kind of eliminates the confusion or misunderstandings, right? We want our chatbot to be as friendly as possible. So these are good things to do when you're creating a chatbot. All right, so we have the slot type values done. Let's take a screenshot of this. And when we make the screenshot, it will come up in our documentation at the end. Okay, how about this? Amazing, amazing. All right, what does restrict to slot values setting mean? So the slot type has restricted slot values, which means Lex will only accept values I defined and reject anything else. Awesome. And we hit done. Amazing. All right, so with that, we choose the save slot type. Oh my goodness, we're done with step 2. Yay. Let's go on to step 3. Okay. Now we've got a custom slot set up. We know that BankerBot knows that there are 3 different bank account types that are supported, and it's ready to take on user requests to check the account balance. So in this final step, we're going to put together intents and slots to make sure we make it happen. All right, so in this step, we are going to set up a new intent for checking users' bank account balance. And then we're also going to add slots to our intent so that Lex can store the user's bank account type and birthday. Okay? All right, so in this step, I will, create an intent to check the user's bank account balance, because I want to be able, because I want the bot to collect the necessary data. Okay. In your left-hand panel, head back to intents. Okay. Go back to Amazon Lex intents. And we now add an intent, add an empty intent, and enter add intent. And we're going to add an empty intent, and we're going to select check balance. Okay. We add that. Awesome. All right. Once we've added that, we can enter the description. So we want, this intent is to check the balance in the specified account type. Okay. So let's now scroll down to sample utterances. And we switch it to plain text because it's very easy to enter all the different things we want it to understand. Look at that. So basically, if it the sample utterances we're entering are, what's the balance in my account? Check my account balance. What's the balance in my savings account or checking account? That's what this indicates. It's like a variable. How much do I have in my savings? I want to check the balance. Can you help me with the account balance, and so forth? Okay. Yeah, so why do some of the utterances have this text account type? That just basically means that Lex is now looking for slot values. So remember the slot values that we entered with the checking, savings, and credit? It specifically allows any of those values to come into account type. So wherever there is this account type text, it's Amazon Lex is looking for any of those slot values that we entered. Okay, so now we scroll down into the slots pane. And we say add slot. Okay, for the slot's name, enter account name, account type. And for the slot type, choose your custom slot value account type. This is what we created in step 2. Prompts for which account would you like your balance is the question that we're going to ask if it identifies the account type. Okay, everything looks good. So you might remember that we also mentioned that we were going to check the balance. In order to check the balance, we want to know the user's birthday to verify that it is the right user and they're not checking somebody else's account. So we're going to add one more slot. And here we're going to call it date of birth, no spaces. And so to distinguish the different words, we use the capital letter at the beginning of the word so that it's easy to read. And here we're going to select Amazon date. And these are the custom dates the types that we talked about in the beginning of this video. And for the prompt, we're going to say, for verification purposes, what is your date of birth? Awesome. So we've added that. Amazing. Oh, I was supposed to take a screenshot of that. I'll take a screenshot of this. Let's do that. Beautiful. And I'm going to upload that here so that it comes nice. My documentation looks nice at the end. And we hit done. Okay, so now we're going to save intent. And then we're going to hit build. All right, so build, as you know, takes a little bit of time. And while we wait, we're going to answer a couple of questions here on the bottom. And I just noticed the chat window. I can't believe I didn't get to say hi. There's Tech with Buki chatting from Nigeria. Hi. So glad you joined. And Dragon from Sri Lanka. Amazing. Love the name Dragon. Okay, so you guys need to help me here. I'm struggling all alone. Okay, so what does the check balance intent do? The check balance intent, I associated my custom slot with check balance, which is basically an intent. Yeah, check balance is an intent that collects user data to help them check their bank balance. Okay. And how did you include slot values in check balances utterances? So I included slot values in some of the utterances. That is the user inputs by using curly braces. So for example, for the question for example, what's the balance in my account type? Account is an indication of the slot value. Amazing. All right, so are we ready to test? Let's choose test. And we will now test with our new chatbot. Are you ready? Okay, so following the steps, let's enter, I want to check my balance, please, because we're very polite. I want to check my balance, please. Right into it. For which account would you like your balance? And so then let's follow along and say checking. And then it asks, for verification purposes, what is your date of birth? And I'm going to say, I'm going to give intent check balance is fulfilled. We'll give all the answers, but the answer for that isn't as fulfilling, right? But looks good. How exciting is that? So let's fix this part. So why does my bot say intent check balance fulfilled? So in order to check the user's bank balance, Banker bot needs to get the user details, that is the account type and the birthday, and then needs to find the user account balance to figure out those details. So right now, BankerBot can do the first item in the list, which is collect all the user details. But for actually coming up and determining what the user's account balance is, we'll do that in the next project. So in this project, all we have is the intent check balance is fulfilled. And that means that the bot has understood all the user details, but doesn't know how to calculate the bank balance. And so here, let's quickly do inspect over here to see if, oh, look at that. See, it has actually stored the information into the slots. So now it has inputs that it has collected from the user, stored it, which it will then in the next step or in the next project use to actually give the answer that the user is looking for. So in our chat window, let's enter something like, what's the balance in my savings account? See, you can see that here it kind of refreshed because now we're asking, we've got another input, right? Where somebody's asking what's the balance in the savings account. So the account type is now savings. So we need to ask again to see what the date of birth is. So so for verification purposes, let's put 19. Okay, let's take a screenshot of this and enter it, include it here. Where's my screenshot? Amazing. And the next question. What does having custom slots mean for your users? Custom slots, by adding custom slots in utterances, my chatbot users can provide inputs like savings, checking, or credit responses. Which were customized by me. Awesome, done with that. So we're done with this particular step. We're done with step 3. We've created slots, and our banker bot can now get users' details. Isn't that exciting? Our next challenge is to use those details to actually calculate and return a bank account balance to the user. And so stay tuned for the next project. But in the meantime, we're going to do a quick secret mission to do a little extra. And in this secret mission, we are going to upgrade the chatbot's error handling skills. So in this secret mission, we are going to add failure responses and then test the bot's error handling skills. So this is a feature that's part of the Pro, but you get a nice little preview with us for watching the demo. What are we doing in this mission? So in this mission, we are, as an extension of this project, I am about to I'm about to enhance my bot's error handling by adding failure responses. Amazing. All right. So we're still in the check balance intent. Yep. Let's head back to the slots panel, which is in the Amazon Lex console. You can see the slots here. Oh. All right. And let's expand the date of birth slot. Oh no, did we miss a step? We did, didn't we? Let's quickly add, no, we did add the date of birth, but did we not save it? Oh no. Add a blank, and we're going to do date of birth. Did I not save it? You know, these things happen. Okay. Let's quickly go back to the date of birth, because I'm sure we did it, but I must not have saved it. Okay, so we added a slot, date of birth, slot type. We do Amazon. Oh, let's go back. Hold on. The slot types. You know, errors always happen. It's sometimes we miss a step, and that is totally fine. No matter how careful you are, you can always make a mistake. And that's why we have the community as well. So make sure that whenever you get stuck on any project, on any step, use that Nextwork community. The link is in the description. Sometimes it's a very simple error or mistake, a step that we missed, or a typo, or sometimes it's really big, like the operating system is different. So it really just depends. No errors are too big or too small for us. Always, whenever you hit an error, use the community. We're all so active on there, and we will come right into rescue and make sure that's done. So this is a great example of where I've made a little mistake. So you get to watch me live in action as I troubleshoot, right? So here I've gone to slot type, and the date of birth isn't there. So, what did we miss, right? So we go back to, let's just revisit slot 3. And what all did we do? We added, we did add the intent. I'm just going to go check just to make sure. We did add the check balance intent, yes. And we added all of those things. I can check again. All the details are in there. Amazing. And then we scroll down until we see the slots panel. And here is where we added the date of birth, right? Okay. Slot type. Name is account type. Great. Enter the following prompts. Yep. For which account would you like your balance? Great. And then choose add, which we've added. And then, exactly, as the step beautifully explains, we did want to enter the user's birthday. So let's create a slot for the birth date. Okay. And when we do that, we choose add slot, and the name is date of birth. The slot type is Amazon date. Everything looks right. And for verification purposes, we've got what is your date of birth, and what else? There is a required for this intent. The bot will prompt for this slot during the conversation if a value is not provided by the user, okay? And we did that. And then we saved the intent. Everything it looks correct. So let's, what did we miss? What did we miss, guys? Anybody want to help me out? Let me see. Let's see. Okay, everything looks correct. So I'm just going to cancel this and go back to the secret mission. Where's the secret mission? So here is a nice little navigation panel that allows me to go back and forth in the steps. We go to secret mission and we're in our check balance intent, and we go back to the slots panel. Let's go to bots. Okay. And count type. We have all of that. Oh, because we don't need, we need to go to slots. Where are the slots? This is good. I need to add a couple steps. What are we missing? What are we missing? These are the slot types. And we want to go back to the date of birth. Oh, and then we go to the advanced option. So where was that? Okay. It's all good. When you're building things, it's always, it always happens. Oh, Dragon, thank you for making me feel better. Dragon says, every time I try to create it, the slots are missing and the process gets stuck. Really? Oh. And Plaxtex, oh, thanks for the walkthrough, she says. Thank you for joining. It means so much to me. Supporting Next Work. We love seeing all of you here. Okay, let's troubleshoot. Feel free to add any inputs. I know I'm missing something really, really small. So let's do this again. Here we go into the, we go into intent. Where's the intents? Here are the intents. Okay, and we go into check balance. Okay, and this is the slots panel. You know what that tells me? That tells me that it's not clear. I'm gonna update that, okay? This is good. So let me, to that point, let me also add that if anything, if you think that we can do better and like a step is not clear, or an extra screenshot would be helpful because it's confusing and hard to find, let us know. It's so useful for us, and we will take your suggestion and feedback into we'll give it so much importance, and we'll make that fix because we want everyone to be able to learn and succeed. So this is the slots panel that I was looking for. And as the instruction says, you know, still in your check balance intent, head back to the slots panel. Okay. All right. Is everyone with me? Cool. Here, we want to expand the date of birth, okay, and select the advanced options. Okay. And then when we open this, we scroll down to the slot prompts section. And when we do that, this is where we can add different ways to ask for the birthday. So let's expand the arrow for bot elicits information. The message one is already there, so we can leave that there. But we can add some variations like, sorry, that wasn't clear to me. What's your date of birth? And then we can say, we can add one more, but I want you to also notice that in this screenshot, we want, as you can see, we want to check this box here, play the messages in order. And so what that would do is it will, after message 1, it will go to message 2 and then message 3. So it's very sequential. If you don't want that and you want it to be random, like we did for some of the other prompts, you can do that too, just to give you a different variation. We're checking this box and then we're going to do very sequentially, right? So for verification purposes, what is your date of birth? And then if we don't understand what that date of birth the user has entered, then we say, sorry, that wasn't clear to me. And this alone would not have made sense if not for the message 1. So we can, if this is also a failure, we can do another message. So we say, uh-oh, can you please tell me the date when you were born? How's that? I mean, you can get creative. You can say, hey, when is your birthday? Or something like that. And with that, and so here's another idea. That didn't work either. Try entering your date of birth. So basically, you get to ask for questions one after the other by checking this box over here. And I think with that, we have, we'll update the slot. Nice work, prompt variations are done. And we're still, let's take a, do we need a screenshot? No. Okay, let's answer this question instead of getting too ahead. How did you set up slot variations? I added variations for the date of birth slot prompt, such as, uh-oh, can you please tell me the date when you were born? The message, and I'll put this one too, so that it's there. So the first one is, sorry, that wasn't clear to me. What's your date of birth? And, uh-oh, can you please tell me the date when you were born? And the messages play in order, so my end user will see the messages, the responses, the response variations, one after the other. Awesome, and that is done. Okay, so now the prompt variations are done, and we are ready for one final touch to spice it up. Still in your date of birth slot panel, I spotted a typo, and I'm going to use the bookmark feature to come back to this. Did you know that you can add notes and be like, oh, Maya, this is super important. And I'm going to say, typo, note to self, please correct. Please correct it. Thank you for being so patient with me. All right, so we are still in our date of birth slot panel, and we scroll down to the slot capture. Where is the slot capture? There it is. Okay, but we want the failure response. Okay, so we go to the slot capture. We want the failure response. I'm saying that because I made the mistake in a previous run with the success response. So not doing that this time. We select failure response, and the failure response basically deals with scenarios where the user isn't giving a valid slot value. So when we ask for date of birth and it doesn't, and the user isn't giving us a date of birth, we want to respond and say, hey, give us the right information. So for this, we're going to expand that, and response when a slot value isn't understood. And under the message group, we are going to add the first message. It looks like the dates provided weren't right. Can you re-enter it? Just the month, date, and year will do, like June 15, 1985. Look at that. Amazing. And so now we're going to add variations because, we're just fun like that. And we're going to add the first variation, which is, I don't think you've entered a date. I need your birth date for verification. What is another thing you can say? Birth date is more accurate, isn't it? Okay. Note to self to come back to this. So if you're not checking in live with me, you should see the corrected version. I need your birth date for verification. And we're going to add one more. Let's try again. Please enter your date of birth. And once we update the slot, I'm going to just bookmark this really quickly. Okay. These are nifty features on the project. You should check it out. Let me know what you think about those features too. Okay, so now we've updated a select update slot at the bottom of the panel and select save intent. Oh, we did select save intent. Okay. We did, right? Okay. And now we're going to select build. Drum rolls, please. Is it building? It is building. And while we wait, let me just check if there's any new chat responses. Okay. Y'all are still here. Yay. All right, that's building. And yes, successfully built. Amazing. So let's test it out now and see our newest change in action. Are you ready? Okay, here we go. So we're going to prompt variations, and we're going to trigger the check balance intent by entering these utterances. And we're just going to do that without sharing our date of birth to make sure that the failure response is coming up. So we're actually testing to see, is it going to give me the failure response? Okay, so here we say, check my savings balance, right? And the bot is asking, what is your date of birth? Well, I'm not going to tell you my date of birth, Mr. Banker Bot. I just want to see my balance in checking. BB says, sorry, that wasn't clear to me. What's your date of birth? I'm not going to give it to you. I want to test and see if you're going to crack. Give me the balance in credit. Uh-oh. Can you please tell me the date when you were born? Oh, sounds like BB is a little frustrated. Okay, amazing. So now let's see what the failure responses look like. So this is when it's looking for a date and it doesn't see a date. Because in the previous responses, we gave it savings, we gave checking, we gave credit, so it knows it's still looking for a birth date. Now we're going to give more interesting responses just to request, to see how the chatbot gives all the different variations. And so you can see how and when it switches to a failure response. So now we gave cheese, and now we're going to ask, what's your birth date? Sorry, that wasn't clear to me. What's your birth date? I have no clue. See? Now BB's getting smart. BB says, I don't think you've entered a date. I need your birth date for verification. And then I say, no, not today. Not today. That's not my birthday. Sorry, I'm having trouble understanding. Can you describe what you'd like to do in a few words? I can help you find your account balance, transfer funds, and make a payment. So now it has finally gone back to the fallback intent message because it has decided this user is a no-go. I can't work with this user. I'm going back to my fallback intent. And the fallback intent is basically comes because the bot has tried and tried and tried, and Lex figures that, you know what, I think this is beyond something I can manage. I'm not able to get the information I need, and so maybe the user's intent isn't to check their balance, and so it goes back. And so that's when Lex switches to a fallback intent, and it allows the user to kind of switch intent if that's something that the user wanted. So this is just a failure response. So the failure response allows the user to enter their date of birth again, and we want to be able to keep asking for the user's date of birth, but at some point, when we don't get that answer at all, it goes back to the fallback intent. All right, so now back in the check balance intent setup, select advanced options. Select advanced options. Select advanced options. Okay, let me read it again. Back in the check balance intent. That's where we are. Okay. Select advanced options under the date of birth. I gotta read the instructions. They're very clear. So let's go to the date of birth slot and go to the advanced options. And here we're going to scroll to the slot capture failure response. And we're going to expand the set values and check out the next step in conversation. So the default is to move to another intent, to the fallback intent. So this is where we can customize if we want. And when we select the intent, there's a lot of options that we can do. There's a lot of things we can do if we want. Here in this secret mission, what we're going to do is we want the chatbot to get the user's birthday again. So we're going to elicit a slot and select date of birth, and select the option to skip elicitation prompt. So we want to skip the elicitation prompt. So that basically makes sure that our bot doesn't ask for the birthday twice in a row. Okay? All right, everything looks good. Let's take a screenshot of this. And let's upload it here. Once the new screenshot comes up, there you go. And I click done. All right. So now we select update a slot again at the bottom, and we select build. While we're building, it's going to take a couple of seconds. Building. All right. Dragon. What time is it there in Sri Lanka? We have Dragon, Placidus. So nice to see all of you. Tech with Buki from Nigeria. Timings must be so crazy, right? Let me know. Okay, so here now we are going to build. We've successfully built, and we're going to test. Ready? Here we go. We're going to trigger the check balance intent and tell our chatbot, BB, I want the balance in credit, please. So it's asking for verification purposes, what is your date of birth? And so now we're going to trigger all the failure responses. Cheese? Sorry, that wasn't clear to me. What's your date of birth? How about, what's your birthday? Uh-oh. Can you please tell me the date when you were born? BB says. I don't know. I don't know. For verification purposes, what is your date of birth? I don't know. BB, I just don't know when I was born. Sorry, that wasn't clear to me. What's your date of birth? Again, it's asking one more time, remember? And I'm going to say not today. I don't think you've entered a date. I need your birth date for verification. So you see the difference here? So instead of the previous question where it went back to the fallback intent, it is saying, sorry, I don't think you entered a date. Can you, I need your birth date, and that's something that we set up. Amazing. All right. So that's done. How did you set up a failure response? I used failure response to failure response to handle invalid user inputs. I changed the default setting to clarify that we are expecting a birth date for verification. Awesome. And with that, we are done. We just created our very own chatbot from scratch today with custom slots. Amazing. I'm so glad that you were all here with me today. Let's quickly answer a few more questions just to make sure that we really understood everything we did today. So Amazon Lex is a chatbot service. Did you know that's the same service that Alexa uses? It's a chatbot service that uses natural human language to help users interact with the bot. And it is useful for creating friendly conversations, to automate a service, to automate support flows, right? Like getting bank account or getting a job done, basically. How did you use Amazon Lex in today's project? In today's project, I used Amazon Lex to create a banker bot or a chatbot BB or banker bot to collect user details for banking services, banking intents. What is one thing you didn't expect in this project? One thing I didn't expect is how creative we can be and fun we can be. We can be in designing the ways in which a chatbot can interact with the users. And how much time did this project take you? I think this project took me about, I think it's been more than an hour. I would say it's been 90 minutes. It took me 90 minutes to complete all the steps, including creating the chatbot from scratch and complete the documentation for this project. Awesome. Yay, thanks for doing this project. I'd love to know, and please enter in the comment box on the live. Oh my goodness, Dragon, you're joining in at 5:27 a.m. That's 5:30 in the morning. Are you a early bird or are you up very, very late? I'm very curious to know. So let me know why you're here in the live today. Why Amazon Lex? Are you going to create a chatbot for something? So I chose to do this project today because I think chatbots are so cool. And I wanted to learn how to build one. Something that would make learning with Nextwork even better is to have more projects and more lives with Maya. No. and more interesting and fun. Oh, I should just put, and more interesting and fun projects, fun and useful. Everything should be useful. Like this. Okay, so something that would make learning with Nextwork even better is to have more interesting, fun, and useful projects like this. Okay, awesome. Okay, we're done. Oh my goodness, how exciting. Well, we're not done. There is more parts, but for today we're done. And because we are calling it a day, we want to make sure that we delete all the resources to avoid getting charged. So super, super, super important. And as you do a lot of projects on AWS, you will explore different services. I think Sports HBO has a message about DevOps. Absolutely worth it. And if you're doing DevOps projects, to avoid getting charged, you always want to delete your resources by the end of the day. So let's do this. And I think if you saw me in the beginning of in the video, you saw me delete the resources because I hadn't from a previous implementation, but shh, you didn't see that. I don't know why I brought it up. We're going to delete it again right now. Just in case you don't remember how to, we're going to go step by step, and that is we'll go to the Amazon Lex console here. We head to the bots on the left-hand sidebar, which we just did. Select the circle radio button next to Banker Bot and select action and delete. Are you ready for it to be deleted? Okay, goodbye Banker Bot. It was nice knowing you. It's taking a couple of seconds to delete, and it's deleted. And there you have it. We are done with BankerBot. I missed BankerBot already. All right, let's do the quiz one more time, shall we? This time, it should be a piece of cake. What do you think? All right, so why include the text account type in some of the sample utterances for the check balance intent? We include the text account type in some of the sample utterances in the check balance intent because that will help Amazon Lex. Okay, wait. A is to increase the confidence score. That's not it. B defines the prompt that Amazon Lex will use to ask the user for their account type. C, it tells Amazon Lex to look for slot values from the user's input. Or D, it helps Amazon Lex understand which intent the user is trying to trigger. So we're going to go with C, and yay. That's correct. We move on to the second question. What does the restrict to slot value setting do when creating a custom slot type? Does it A, set the minimum confidence level for intent recognition? Does it B, ensure that only the values you specify are considered valid? B or C, configure the voice used by the chatbot for responses? Or D, determine how long the session lasts before timing out? We're going to go with B. Amazing. All right. Next question. What are intents in Amazon Lex? Is it A, custom error message when the chatbot doesn't understand the user? B, the phrases a user inputs to trigger a specific action? C, what the user is trying to achieve in their conversation with the chatbot? Or D, intents or specific details like restaurant type, name, date, number of people. And so we're going to go with C, right? Awesome. When is the fallback intent triggered? Fallback intent, is it triggered when a user asks a question about a specific topic? Is it when the chatbot successfully fills all the required slots for an intent? C, when a user says hello or a similar greeting, or D, when the chatbot's confidence score is below threshold. We're going to go with D. Okay. Amazing. And last one, what are slots in Amazon Lex? Slots are the actions the user wants the chatbot to perform. B, pieces of information that a chatbot needs to complete a user's request. C, the phrases users say to trigger specific actions. Or D, the chatbot's replies to the user's input. Let's go with B. And yay, we have 5 on 5. We've mastered it. And now we are ready to share the project. So if you are completely new to Nextwork, so welcome. So glad to have you here. I want to really quickly show you how answering all those questions while doing the project is really helpful in getting your own documentation. So at the end of the project, you will see a mission accomplished, and then you can just go ahead and download a PDF of all the steps you did, all the answers, and you can even share it to LinkedIn, X, or anywhere, because the content is all available for you. Different ways of storing it. So there's a lot of things you can do with it. For now, we are going to save it as a PDF, and we can take a look at what that looks like, the final output. And while that is happening in my downloads, you will see that, look at that. That is our beautiful documentation. And it has the screenshots that we've added, all the answers that we entered. And so again, if you are adding more content, more text, it'll look even more descriptive. So it's really up to you to use this as you need. And then you can always generate it and publish it and share it with anybody you want and post it. You can even on LinkedIn attach the document, choose the file, add the downloads that we had, and whenever you're done, you can hit done and submit. Thank you all so much for joining me today as we walk through the part 2 of the Lex series chatbot. So glad to have you here. I'm just going to really quickly see if I have any questions. Dragon's up at 5:27 a.m. and still haven't slept. Dragon, you're a cybersecurity undergrad student and you're building a website as a freelancer. How amazing is that? And you recently built a chatbot using API and JavaScript. However, building it with Lex is much easier. Yeah, it is so convenient. Amazon AWS has really made it very easy to do that. So absolutely agree with you. So glad to have you stay with me throughout, even though you haven't slept. Whew, I don't know if I could go without sleep and be up at 5:30 a.m. So thank you so much for being here. There's a quick question by Sports HBO about DevOps. Is it worth it? I'm a third-year student and want to start DevOps, but confused where to start. Nextwork is a great place to start. AWS has a lot of services for DevOps that a lot of our projects cover. So I really invite you to check out next work, and I'm really going to quickly digress from the chatbot just to answer the question. If you can go to learn.nextwork.org, you can check out all the projects that are available to you. Check out the DevOps challenge. This is a great challenge. It's a little tricky. It's a little spicy, as we like to say. But it will help you go through all the different operations, all the different services that are available on AWS. And just like the Lex Chatbot series, we take step by step and go through all of it. So I really invite you to check it out. And if you have any more questions about it, go to community. Let me put the link in for you, community.nextwork.org. Let me see if I can add that here. Okay, community.nextwork.org. And that's a great place to go and share your documentation, your questions. If you're looking for a shift in career and want to go into IT, DevOps, AWS, build a chatbot, you want to share what you've done with the chatbot, Dragon, I'd love to hear all the things you've done in building the chatbot with the API and JavaScript. Come and join us in the community, share your stuff. It's a great place to talk and meet people. And otherwise, I also invite you to check out learn.nextwork.org, where you will find many projects like this. And if you're interested in DevOps, there's a lot of projects out there. So you'll have a lot of fun. Thank you, Sports HBO. You're most welcome. Enjoy, have fun learning. Thank you all for joining me today with part 2. In the next video, I'll go through part 3, where we will actually provide the account balance that the user asks for BankBot. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a great rest of the day, morning, night, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. Take care and enjoy. See you next time. Bye-bye.